Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today for the Wellness at Work panel discussion. My name is Tima Khan. I'm a member of the Career Advising and Transition Services team as a career advisor and part of the McGill School of Continuing Studies. Our role is to support and empower students and alumni, as well as prospective students, in gaining the clarity, skills, confidence, and connections that they need to excel in their current careers, as well as transition to new ones. We would like to start this event with a land acknowledgement. If you want to find out more about the Indigenous lands in which we reside, there's a great resource by the website www.native-land.ca. We would like to go over some tips to really maximize your experience with us today. As I go through the tips, please feel free to put down where you're tuning in from in the chat box, as well as what sparked your interest in coming and joining us in the session today. To begin, this session is actually being live streamed on LinkedIn. There are going to be varying views of, there's going to be different perspectives and diversity of thought. We have a moderator and very interesting and eclectic panelists and a number of attendees as well. So please be mindful and respectful of that. As you know, it's the virtual world, and we really ask everyone to be muted until the end of the discussion when there's a question period. Please feel free to raise your hand or ask us to unmute and have a discussion. In the meantime, if you have some burning questions that you really want to share with us, please comment and populate the chat box. We really love your participation and want to hear from you. So today we'll be talking about wellness at work. I see from the chat, I'm going to look into the chat box now and see if anyone had a chance to start answering the question. Sandra Villani says she's from Montreal and she's always been interested in wellness. I'm going to wait a few more minutes for more attendees to start replying. Be shy. And if you are, that's okay as well. I'm also from Montreal, that helps. And I'm interested in wellness too, like Sandra. Valerie's from Montreal as well. We have Sherbrooke, Quebec. Wow, thanks for tuning in, Melanie. Catherine's from Montreal too, and she's looking forward to hearing more perspectives on the issue. Darely is from Montreal. Perfect. It sounds like most of us are tuning in from Montreal, so hopefully we'll all be able to weather the storm today. So our moderator and panelists will be guiding us in understanding the importance of mental wellness in the workplace, the steps we can take to personally promote our own wellness and mental well-being, and the strategies organizations, leaders, and managers use to ensure that they've fostered healthy and balanced work environments. Our moderator today is Lisa Tomlinson. She's a local wellness advisor at the McGill School of Continuing Studies. Lisa is a mental health clinician who has 15 years of experience providing support and guidance to individuals and groups. At McGill, as an advisor, her role involves supporting students to overcome challenges during their academic journey, as well as providing one-on-one appointments for her students, facilitating workshops, outreach, and wellness promotion overall. Really happy to have Lisa here today. I'm sending you a not virtual clap, but in-person clap.
Awesome. Thanks, Tima, for the lovely introduction. And so first, thanks to all the participants, the audience for joining us here today. I'm hoping everyone's happy they didn't have to trek out in this snowstorm to be able to participate. And a special thank you, of course, to the panelists who have kindly agreed to share their time, knowledge, and insights around this really important topic, wellness in the workplace. I'm really looking forward to guiding us through this process. But first, we're going to take a moment just to have each panelist very briefly introduce themselves. If you could just say your name, and I'll leave it open, introduce yourself however you would like to in maybe just 1 or 2 sentences. Okay. If anybody wants to go first, go ahead. If not, I'm just going to go in the order that I see the panelists on my screen.
I don't mind going first. Sorry, Robert. My name is Christyn Greczkowski. I'm a wellness coach and a student. I founded the company Compassion Life Coaching, and I work with a wide variety of individuals with unique wellness needs. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Umit, did you want to go next?
Yeah, why not? So this is Umit. I've been working, I have a degree in psychology, and I've been working in HR field for more than 20 years. I had a chance to work in Middle East, Europe, and North America, and had very different experiences. I don't have any particular credentials like my fellow speakers in wellness, but I'll be happy to share my experiences and opinions about wellness topic at work. Today, I'm not particularly representing my company that I'm working at the moment, but I'm here as an HR professional. Thanks.
Thank you. Manon?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Yeah, hi. So I'm Manon. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm very excited and proud to be here. So a little bit about me. I'm the head of human resources at Potluck. We're a fast-growing tech-enabled startup. We're 250 people distributed in different countries with different cultures, different wellness issues. Some people are remote, some people are on-site. A lot of topics for us. We do social media sampling to reach respondents for market research purposes. And I've worked at the company for 2.5 years now.
So much. And Robert.
Hello, hi, it's nice to be here. My name is Robert Wise. I am the founder of Rise Anxiety and Depression, where we specialize with helping people with anxiety, stress, fear, phobias, and mental health all together. So my goal today is to help anybody who wants to know how to have a healthier, more effective workplace experience. So if you need any tips on how to take care of your mental health in the workplace and how to support mental health in the workplace, I hope to be able to help guide you on that.
Amazing. Thanks so much, everybody, for introducing yourselves. So I think we can all agree, and probably the reason why the majority of you are here is that wellness is an important topic that affects our work life. Whether you're a junior or a senior employee, whether you're a job seeker, a student, or someone in a more established role. So Tima kind of touched on it before. Very quickly, the goals of discussion today will be to explore wellness in a more general sense, strategies to promote and advance employee wellness, and some tips and tools to take away based on the experiences of our experts. So we only have an hour. I'm going to get started really quickly, and I'm sure the time is going to fly. We're going to do our best to leave some space at the end of the panel for questions, comments, insights from the audience. But feel free to drop any of these questions, comments, or insights in the chat, and we'll do our best to address them depending on how things are flowing, okay? So let's get right into it. I'm wondering, Robert, I hope you don't mind kicking off the discussion. So when we talk about wellness, really broadly, what does wellness kind of mean to you?
So for me, wellness is a mixture of a lot of things. It's how you take care of yourself mentally, how you take care of yourself physically, how you are living your day-to-day life. So like a lot of people ask me, what is it like to be at peace and to be well, to have a wellness experience? And that's to be in a place where you're not anxious, you're not overly stressed, you're not constantly worried. So to me, wellness is being able to take care of yourself in a way that promotes a healthy life. And when we're working too much, or we are in a toxic environment, or we are reacting to things out of fear or anxiety, you are not living a life that is mentally healthy or physically healthy for you to have a positive experience at the workplace or in your personal life as well. So wellness to me is peace of mind, being able to manage your anxiety, manage your stress. It's okay to be stressed, but how do you manage your stress? And how do you ultimately live a life where you're not in a constant state of what's next, and more of like, where am I now? What am I doing right now versus what do I need to do now? Got to keep moving, got to keep going, got to keep getting things done. Focus on the task at hand. So also being mindful is wellness to me as well. Being in the moment, being in the present, being able to be focused.
Great, thank you so much for sharing. So, so essentially, wellness, it involves a variety of different dimensions in our life, and it sounds like it's more of like a journey rather than a specific goal. So
is it not just one? You can't just be well in one area. It's kind of like if you're really good at work, but you're all over the place in your personal life. That's wellness needs to be a journey that affects all areas of life, and how you react in all areas of life, not just one area.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Umit, would you like to share what wellness means to you?
Yes, of course. So yeah, wellness for me is practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to have physical health and mental health. So it's more like not only surviving, but thriving. So there's one important thing in this definition, I guess. It is the result of an effort. And as Robert said, it's also, and you said, it's also a process and it's a continuous effort. So we choose to be well each and every day with our habits, actions, and everything we do in daily life.
So much for sharing. Christyn, what do you think about this topic? What does wellness mean to you?
I really agree with what Umit just said, that it's a process. I've been thinking about this ever since I had my first meeting with Tima to organize this. I think that wellness to me, of course, there's the domains that we talk about, the physical domain of wellness, the relational, the spiritual, and the mental. But I think just personally, and from what I see with my clients, it's always changing. So wellness, it's more dynamic, it's more flexible. I've actually pulled up one of my old goal trackers just to show you how different it can be. So it's really ugly if you look at it. Basically, I noticed that I wasn't eating enough vegetables for a week. So I said, okay, I need a little reminder. I need something to look at. So that's, of course, the physical wellness. Another week, it was more, I need to focus on my skincare routine. That for me is what my priority is. So it's always changing. I work with a lot of students, maybe for this month, you're focused more on your mental wellness and on taking breaks from studying and making sure that you're doing things to take care of your relational well-being. So it's always changing depending on I guess the context of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the visual. Visuals are always helpful.
Yeah.
Helpful. It seems like a neat little a neat tool that you have there. So yeah, thanks for sharing. And Manon, what does what does wellness mean to you?
To me personally, I really believe that wellness means like balance, work-life balance between like your hobbies and your professional life. I like what Robert, you mentioned, saying that if something's going wrong in your personal life, there's no way that you're going to be comfortable in the rest of the areas that you live in every day. So I really believe in this. I think we all have different needs. Some people may need outdoor time. Some people may need time with family. We'll need to find what we need personally to thrive and to be comfortable at every time. And as an individual, we need to understand what balance we need between our personal time, personal stress, professional time, etc., to make sure that we're completely comfortable and stress with as little stress as possible on an everyday basis, because it's really hard not to have any. So to deal with it and manage it. Yeah.
That's a very realistic viewpoint, that the goal is not to eliminate all stress. I mean, we would stress ourselves out, and if we kind of set that really high expectation, but yeah, to minimize as much as possible. And also you touch on an important aspect that, it's not easy to just compartmentalize like that. If we're having difficulty in our personal life, it's hard. It's not always easy for it not to spill over into, our professional life or our social life or our family life. So yeah. Manon, I'm going to follow up with, and we'll continue with you with another question. So why is workplace wellness important? Why is it something that matters?
So it's so important. I mean, I wouldn't know where to start. But of course, as the senior director of talent and culture, there's culture and talent. It means people in my title. I think we've all been there a few years ago with the infamous pandemic. We had to drastically change how we operated. We had to redefine the workplace. We had to redefine leadership practices. We had a bigger distribution of teams. Like, the reality completely changed. So for me, wellness in the workplace is super important. There are two sides that I want to chat about today. So first of all, the employee side. At Potluck, we have a very specific workforce with specific realities. Our average age is pretty young. We have like a workforce that's 29 years old in average, so it's very young. We have a lot of people that are coming from other countries. They have no support system in their countries. Either in Canada, they have no family, they just arrived, they don't have any friends, no support system. It's exactly the same in France. They might be foreigners who just ended their studies. They have no one to take care of them when something's going wrong. Everyone has different backgrounds, realities, hobby, different needs. So that's the employee side. And on the employer side, for us at Potluck, it's very important because we really, really believe, and I really believe, that employee well-being in the workplace is a key to actual organizational success, performance, productivity, engagement, creativity. It doesn't work if the people that work with us are not happy and comfortable, and if they don't have that balance. The cost of the poor well-being of our employees can be really catastrophic to retention and the health overall of the organization. So it's really something that we try to approach with the two sides.
Yeah, no, it's so important. I mean, it touches on, workplace wellness touches on so many aspects of an employee's life as well. And it's interesting to see kind of like new initiatives that companies are implementing to try and to promote wellness and worker well-being. Christyn, what are your thoughts on the topic? Why do you feel that this is important? This kind of like focus more towards workplace well-being.
Thank you. Definitely, like what Manon said, keeping your employees well and happy is beneficial for everyone. I've been also thinking about this the past week. I mean, I work alone. I work for myself, but I've done a few different internships, so I've got a little taste of different sorts of workplaces, and it's interesting. I find one of the main contributors to well-being is the relationships, the support that your coworkers offer one another. And of course, this isn't possible if your organization doesn't, allow for this. So keeping that open, also just keeping the discussion open. If you are surrounded by coworkers who share the same values as you in terms of mental well-being, boundary setting, spiritual being, whatever it is, you're going to thrive, I think, more than if you're in an organization where that's not spoken about and that's not valued. Another thing is maybe for companies to give you like a gym membership or something. I've seen that a lot too. Another one, they offered physiotherapy services in-house, which I thought was super exciting and amazing. So just little things like that.
Great, thanks so much. And you really touch on an important topic too that I think I omitted when I was, kind of naming who is affected by work-life wellness, but self-employed workers as well. So there may be some in the audience today, but this is a whole another demographic of workers where it can be stressful working by yourself. Like you said, if you're really kind of like by yourself, you might not have that sense of connection, co-workers to bounce things off of, to bounce ideas off of, to commiserate with, all that stuff, which is so important. So, as a self-employed worker, how do we, maintain that, like our well-being as well? So thanks for bringing that to light. Umit, did you want to offer some thoughts on this particular, why it's important?
Sure, definitely. I agree with Manon. It has two sides, employee and employer. So we understood that both employees and employers understood that a healthy workforce is not only important from a moral standpoint, but also from a financial standpoint. So when healthcare costs are decreased, then insurance premiums are decreased from a business standpoint, productivity, absenteeism. But also when you offer employees wellness programs, you tell them that you respect them, you trust them, and you want them to be successful in life. So it gives results like productivity goes up, customer service becomes outstanding, problem solving becomes better. People get creative when they're well. They like coming to work, they appreciate their employer, they work better with others, and they have high employee morale for sure. So that's why, especially after the COVID, it has become more and more important. They're all interacting differently after COVID. And also before COVID, people were thinking that wellness was something that should be handled by individual rather than the responsibility of organization. But now we're in 2023 and wellness initiatives are expected. And employees are holding their employers accountable for their effort. And I observe this every day while interacting with job seekers. I can share more afterwards about this.
I'm sure. Yeah, we're definitely going to get into some strategies later on, or some more specific strategies for whoever has them to offer. But yeah, I mean, it's like making an investment, when you kind of offer these wellness initiatives, you're investing in your employees, right? I mean, they might take some time for themselves, but, as a result, and we're going to see, higher productivity and, a lot of other positive outcomes too. Yeah. Robert, did you have anything to add on that topic? Why it's important? There's been a lot of good points that have been brought up so far.
I believe it's important is because I do work with a lot of businesses and they do see a lot of burnout. And I think it's important to take care of your employees, because when you take care of your employees, you're actually taking care of your business. Your employees is like your babies. And if you don't take care of them, then they're not going to thrive. And them not thriving is going to affect them and also your business. So care of your employees actually is good for everybody, whether that is, like someone said, giving a gym membership or doing wellness workshops, giving people access to a gym or a game room. It's important that we do burnout prevention, because you don't want turnover, you don't want your employees burning out, and you don't want them overworked and overstressed, because it's not good for business. At the end of the day, a happy employee is going to help your business grow. A disgruntled employee, a miserable employee, and a happy employee is actually going to end up hurting your business. So I always encourage people to invest in your employees. It's like investing in your child. It's like investing in anything that's important to you, because it will help you and them grow. It's a win-win, and I'm all about win-wins.
Yeah, it's really, really, really nicely put. Yeah, so it's so important, and we treat people well, and we're gonna see the fruits of that that effort. in the work and, in the business. So I'm going to circle back to you, Umit, because you sounded like you had some stuff you wanted to share on this. But what are some specific wellness strategies that you've seen, whether it's in your professional experience or that you've heard of? So specific strategies that are in place or that you've seen in place for employees to promote wellness.
For me?
Oh, I was circling back to Umit because I know she had mentioned before that she had some stuff that she wanted to share.
Sure,
Sorry, maybe that was missed, or I may have said it too quickly.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, after pandemic, employees are definitely looking for more meaning in life and expecting that employers see themselves as human beings rather than just professionals doing work. So pandemic showed us how fragile life is and how quickly everything can change. So people are expecting more flexibility so that they can attend to a childcare issue. They can pick up the phone and let their managers know about the issue without fear or judgment. And this also brings us to the issue of mental health, right? I'm sorry. In the past, we were just putting our professional masks on our face and going to work. But now being vulnerable, having challenges is something that we don't afraid to share. We want our managers, co-workers, company know that we are human beings having some challenges in life. For example, more and more, I'm seeing on LinkedIn that people sharing their psychiatric medication, showing that they're getting help, talking about their sobriety and things like that. So this means that we are able to talk about those things more and more, which is great. When it comes to healthcare initiatives by companies, yes, definitely there are more and more things every day. Providing financial support for wellness is one thing for sure, like paying gyms, sports equipment, or even for musical equipments. So playing something will make you better, company can pay for it. Why not? And physical wellness is important since we're working from home. Paying for standing desks or ergonomic chairs is something companies do nowadays. Mental health care support programs are becoming more and more popular, assistance, and things like that. So, for example, in my former company, we got mental health first aid training, all of the organization, so that we can attend to each other when something comes up unexpected. Of course, there are very nice, short, sweet initiatives like stretching, meditation breaks that I experienced with my current company. So there are being like live meditation sessions that you can just join on Teams that reminds you that you have to give a break. Of course, work-life balance, flexible hours, 4-day work week are the things that we started to talk about regarding wellness nowadays.
Great. Thank you for sharing so many good initiatives. I actually took a meditation break myself right before this panel. I'm like, I need something to calm my nerves. So yeah, no, some really good initiatives. And it's nice to see that, it's becoming, we're kind of breaking down the stigma around, talking about, stuff that's, like stuff that's happening in your lives at work, and instead of just having to put that mask on and kind of like try to forget about everything else. So thanks. Manon, what about based on what you've seen, or, what's, initiatives that exist at Potluck? What do you have to say about that?
A lot of good ideas from Umit. I wrote some of them down. I really like them. On our side, we do a lot of things that with the means that we have. Of course, we cannot do everything. So one of our focus is to really find out what's really impactful. So we benchmark a lot, we monitor a lot the impact of what we do. We do review our health and benefits package every time we get the opportunity. We have subscribed to Dialogue for all of our Canadian-based employees, so they have like a telemedicine app. So we just make it easier for our employees to get the service that they need. We have regular surveys to make sure that they're happy with the perks and benefits that we offer, to give them the opportunity to voice their issues or concerns or their ideas sometimes. But for me, the most important thing, and it's very linked to one of our core values, which is transparency, is to just empowering managers to recognize the signs of someone who's living through a very stressful situation that's not performing for any kind of reason, and also lifting the taboo, respecting the boundaries, and just creating a safe space in terms of wellness, mental health, stress related issues, so that we can really have the discussion. Like, it's not an issue to go see your manager or go see someone you're comfortable talking to and just saying, hey, this is not working out for me. Something's very stressful for me right now. Just to find a way to accommodate those situations. And we know that everybody's living through different things at different times. So it's very important for us to really create that safe space, that atmosphere of trust, that if you do mention that you have mental health issues or you need a specific moment for yourself, that it won't be something that will be used against you in the future, and it won't be used when we're discussing your performance or anything. Like, it's the holistic approach.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure that confidentiality piece is super important as well. So employees know that, what's shared with you is not necessarily going to be broadcast or used against them. And, I'm sure it's reassuring too, to know that they can come to, if something's going on in their life, they can come to, like their manager, their HR person, and share, and then you can kind of work together to co-create,
and it comes from the managers, actually. When you have managers that respect that take vacations and take real vacation, they don't write to you emails during their vacation, they don't answer emails, they don't post reactions on Slack. Like, they really take that time for themselves. They respect those boundaries for themselves. It kind of sets an example to the people in their teams to do the same and to respect their own boundaries also. Because we're all overworked. We're all very willing and very heavily invested in the success of the company also. So it's kind of a vicious circle sometimes.
Absolutely. Robert, did you have anything to add to this topic? Wellness strategies that you've kind of seen or heard of for employees?
Yeah, as somebody who works with a lot of anxiety and depression and burnout, I guess I'm biased on my favorite type of wellness initiative, and that would be EAP programs, employment assistant programs. I think it's really important that we take care, again, of our employees' mental health. So give them access to licensed mental health professionals that could help them with their life. And also, I'm really big on mental health workshops, like what we're doing now, giving people tools and strategies to help them. And everybody, not just one group of people, not just managers, not just executives, but everybody in the organization. So everybody kind of has the same understanding of mindset, how to manage their emotions, how to prevent burnout, how to communicate with colleagues, because a lot of people don't know how to speak to different types of people, or they're scared to talk to a manager. So how to be able to communicate better, more effectively. So I'm all about knowledge. To me, knowledge is power. So I would have to say that my favorite initiative is giving people the knowledge and help and support with their mental health. And to me, that creates a wellness environment that also makes the employees feel valued, because their employer is actually paying and giving time to help them with their mental health journey and how to be the best they can be. So that's my personal favorite initiative, because I've seen it work, I've watched it work, and I've seen the value it brings to employees and the employers in the business.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And the piece around, like education and knowledge sharing and whatnot is so important, right? So the more informed we are, the more, we can make an informed decision regarding our own well-being and our own mental health. And
sometimes we don't even realize, like when I was doing a workshop, people don't even realize that they're falling into some of these mental health traps that I call them, where they don't email because they're scared they're going to get in trouble for not knowing the answer. And they actually do these behaviors that create this cycle where they don't know how, they let fear or anxiety run their show, and then their boss is upset with them because they're not communicating properly with them. So it gets to this vicious cycle. And that's why having knowledge and understanding on how to communicate and how to face your fears and how to, you know, things, or how to have conflict resolution. People also solve conflict within the work environment, how to do that effective, not aggressive, not passive aggressive. These are all ways that I really think adds to a better, safer, because I actually did a McGill presentation in November of 2019 on psychological safety, a more psychological safe work environment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's essential as well to well-being, where employees feel safe if they need to bring something up, or, you know, to their employer. Yeah. I noticed someone had their hand up. Are you okay to wait until kind of question period in maybe about 10 minutes? Or was it more kind of relevant to what was just being discussed?
No, it's okay. Manon already replied in the text. She's following the text. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right, Christyn, did you have anything to add, or what would you like to add to this topic here?
Yes. So my expertise is more at the level of the individual and not so much the organization, the workplace. But I would recommend, you know, doing things that make you feel good. This is what I always start with when working with a new client, the foundational elements of wellness. So that's sleep, nutrition, and exercise. And it's probably annoying for some people to hear over and over and over again. But you're not going to be okay to set out and do these wellness initiatives, these mindset things, if you're not sleeping properly, for example. It has an effect on everything. So that's the main thing. Get your hours of sleep. If you have trouble sleeping, go see your family doctor. That's another thing that some people tend to neglect. That is a form of self-care, doing these regular checkups. Another thing is, which is kind of fun, there's new mindfulness meditation apps. And I actually just incorporated research on these into a paper. They're very effective, and workplaces have done these initiatives where they make it accessible to everyone. Some of them agreed to participate in new research, which is always fun. There's two that I recommend. There's one called Calm, and this can be tailored to actually bettering your sleep. And there's another one called Headspace that I've used. I believe that they're free, they're fairly accessible, and it's quick little things that you do every day that make a difference, like these mindfulness exercises. Another thing would be just awareness, having these conversations with yourself or a friend. When do I know that I'm at my limit? When do I see that I'm getting there? For me, it's when I don't have time to exercise, or I notice that I'm being kind of short with my partner. Then I see, okay, I need to take a look at my overall well-being and make some changes.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And, you know, you touch on something really important, you know, like the sleeping and the eating and, you know, the physical activities, kind of like the foundational needs of, you know, their basic survival needs, basically. Yeah. But I mean, they often become the first things that we neglect when we get stressed out or overwhelmed with stuff. And yeah, I definitely, I probably sound a lot like you in my appointments too, Christyn, you know, preaching, are you eating? Are you sleeping? Well, what does that have to do with it? Everything. So super important. And I should also mention regarding the apps that you had mentioned. So if you're a McGill student and you pay your some sort of your student fees, so either your regular student fees or your Macy's fee at continuing studies, then you should have access to Calm, like the full kind of, you know, like premium version. I haven't been on it because I don't have access to it, but I believe there's kind of like the basic version and the premium version which give you access to more content. So I believe if you pay in some sort of fee, your student fees, whether you're continuing studies degrees or in the regular degree programs, then you should be able to access the premium version, and then you have a whole bunch of content. And I can definitely, second, there's a lot of really good meditations on there, anything from like a few minutes to, longer, guided relaxation exercises.
Yeah, even podcasts, if you have Spotify. There's Tara Brach, there's Christyn Neff. I love Christyn Neff. Self-compassion.
Self-compassion.
Really good podcasts
Mm-hmm.
or meditations.
Excellent. Yeah. Great. Thank you so much. So we're going to dive into kind of our final subtopic. So tools, the more practical, all of this has been like really practical, but this is really kind of, like the practical tools, like, what can I do? What is the first step that, that people from the audience can take in, kind of like setting onto their wellness journey, whatever that may look like. And it's going to look different for everybody. So Manon, I don't know if you wanted to maybe start us off with, like if you have any, kind of like tips or tools or, first steps that viewers could take.
Sure. I think Christyn mentioned a lot of very insightful ideas already. I do also really like the apps. There's a French one that's called Petit Bambou, which is really nice, but I do like Headspace. So I really believe in balance and flexibility, and also self-awareness. That's super important. With a manager's perspective, I would really push for safe space for discussion, being like actively listening to the people that are working around you, to be able to recognize some signs, just giving them the space to have their moments where they're where they need a little bit more of me time, whereas I know that they're going to contribute a lot more when they're completely well and happy and balanced. I think, Christyn, you mentioned something super important, which was like, just do something that you like. I really believe that if your job is fulfilling and driving you on a daily basis, and you're learning stuff, and you're working alongside people that you respect and that you look up to, it will be much easier to have that balance and to let go of anxiety. Like, you're going to be able to shine, and you're going to be able to give your 200% and not be afraid of failure. So it's really the environment that we need to provide our people, the tools, the learning, the knowledge, to be comfortable and happy and thriving. And when you do feel like something's not okay, it may be on your personal side, it may be on your professional side. It's usually the sign that something's wrong. Like, you need to investigate on this. Maybe you're not at the right place. Maybe you need to be more challenged intellectually. Maybe you need to go to the next step. Maybe you need to just change your environment. Maybe you need some sort of personal change, or maybe you just need vacations. So self-awareness is very important for me. I don't know if I answered the question though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That was like very concrete. Just kind of that self-awareness, and the apps, and like pick an activity, like an activity that you enjoy doing. It's some of these things, they seem so simple, but they're so rich, and they can have such an important impact on our well-being. It's like going for a walk or something.
As an HR professional, most conversations we have with managers where they're not super comfortable addressing the issue that was brought by their employees are usually around stress and mental health. So that's really something that we discuss on a daily basis. And I believe that bringing it proactively sometimes just helps diffusing the bomb and shading some, putting some light on some people's realities. So to avoid burnouts, etc.
Yeah.
Proactivity on this.
All right. Thank you so much, Manon. Robert, do you have any tips, tools? I know you guys have all kind of like peppered in some really good strategies in your discussion before, but anything else that you might like to add?
I'm going to give a very simple and very effective strategy that people don't use or do enough. And it is to take a breath, to take a pause. I think that what happens is we spend so much time going that we forget to breathe. We forget to take a pause. And to use that strategy, even when you get an email and you're triggered, take a pause before you answer the email, before you react to it, take a pause. I think we all need, especially in this world now, We all need what I call a much needed pause. And a much needed pause to me is to take a breath. And the simplest breath I tell people is breathe in a flower and blow out a candle. Do it 3 times, blow in that flower, breathe in that flower, blow out that candle, and take that much needed breath. You need it. I mean, we're not made to be go, 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 go. So find time in your day to just take a breath, whether that means taking a little walk, whether that means to, pour yourself a cup of coffee. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as you take that pause, because I think we all need a pause. Everybody needs a pause. So that's my advice. And it's so easy to do because you could do it anywhere. Just take that breath. You can go to the bathroom, take that breath. It's important. Do not underestimate, I tell people, the power of breathing, because we do forget to breathe. We do. We just start to go, 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 that we're like, okay, I need to take a breath. I need to take that pause and rejuvenate myself. And that's my suggestion. And you can do that every day, multiple.
It's a great suggestion. And really focusing on the quality of the breath too. Right. So
I tell people to take 3 breaths at least 15 times a day. And that's actually what they recommend in cognitive behavioral therapy. They recommend 3 breaths 15 times a day. And some people tell me, I don't have time to do that. And I'm like, it's breathing. You absolutely have time to take 3 breaths 15 times a day. It's just being mindful of the breath. That's the only difference. It's like you're actually being mindful of doing the breath rather than just breathing.
Nice thing about it, it can be done anytime, anywhere, in pretty much any context. Yeah, so discreet.
It's great if you have a fear of in an elevator and you have any fear, just take that breath and nobody knows you're doing it. So it's great. It's discreet, it's effective, and I'm all about doing, okay, Manon, good, she's doing it now. That's how you do it.
Thank you so much, Robert. Christyn, did you have anything you wanted to add? I know you've offered a lot of amazing tools. You had your kind of the visual tool, like writing things down, the apps and whatnot. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Yes, I would say get a dog. Okay. My dog really helps me with that, getting out for walks and stuff. I highly recommend it. I really enjoy when I'm feeling a little bit off-centered to get into a routine of setting intentions for my week. It was kind of like the first thing that you saw that was a mess. Sunday night, what are 4 things that I would like to bring to the forefront of my mind for this week? And it could be simple things like, did I take 3 breaths? Did I meditate today for 2 minutes? I will sometimes do that. I'll put a timer on and I'll just tune into my senses, or I'll go for a mindful walk. Is the whole walk mindful? Absolutely not. But just to remind yourself, oh yes, my mind is kind of scattered right now. I'm thinking about a lot of things. Let me try to focus on the smell of this snow tractor thing going by, all the gasoline. It's okay to do that. Or the sound of my feet as I'm walking. Just these simple things that ground you in the present moment, in reality. It can be extremely powerful to help you feel grounded and safe, and to give your mind that split second of calm or of quiet. I highly recommend.
Thank you so much, Christyn. Yeah, those mindful moments, they can really do a lot of good when done regularly. Umit, I'm going to, I guess we'll kind of end with you and some of the tips, any tips that you might want to share, concrete things, whether it's for employees or, employers as well.
Sure, definitely. So I'll simply talk about 2 things, and they're very similar to each other. So one thing is disconnecting from work. While working from home, the lines between work and personal life is really got blurred. So at the time you're planning to finish, setting your boundaries and just making your computer off is really important. Now in Ontario, in Canada, there is a new legislation about that, disconnecting from work. So Ontario labor law gives employees this opportunity, and companies who have more than 25 employees have to have a written process about this, which is great. So they are being somehow motivated by law to give employees boundaries. And of course, taking time off, right? Using our vacation times, using our personal days. It's really important. In the past, I remember it's been like almost 25 years when I started my work life, people who don't use their vacation days, it was something that you're proud of. I didn't take any sick days. I didn't use any vacation and things like that. Today, it's a whole different story. Taking time off replenishes you. You become relaxed, you rest and come back to work more creative and being more effective in problem solving, dealing with work issues. And there's a great practice in some organizations. People cannot carry over their vacation days to next year. So they have to take it within the year. I think that's a great idea. So people are really encouraged to use your vacation days. So I would say that don't be afraid of disconnect, and don't be afraid of using all the PTO given to you in order to replenish yourselves.
Yeah, amazing tips. It's again, we're given these vacation days for a reason. And I know that in some industries, sometimes it's frowned upon to take all of those vacation days. So, so it makes sense that, we'd be a little bit off-put about that, but you do what you need to do for you, which is what's most important. So just going back to also something that Christyn had mentioned about getting a pet. So if it's not feasible for you, as a McGill student, you also have access to the pet therapy group that occurs twice a week at the Wellness Hub. So kind of like the main centralized wellness hub in the Brown Student Services building. I believe it's Mondays and Thursdays, but you can double check the schedule, like the Wellness Hub programming schedule. And it's available to anybody who wants to go. So even as continuing study students, you could pop in. It's usually about 3 hours long. There's like a pet therapist with some therapy dogs there. And it's like just the most amazing thing if you're a dog person. So I just thought I'd add that in case, maybe going out and buying a puppy is maybe not something you can do right now. Next best thing, go and visit the pet therapy dogs at the Wellness Hub. Yeah. All right. So that is the end of our discussion. And I did want to leave some time for, for some questions, comments, because I think that's like so important. And I'm, dying to hear what the audience has to say. I know, if somebody has to leave at 1, because I know that's in 4 minutes, then, feel free to go. If you're able to stay a few minutes, then, we can. Before I go and say this, I just want to make sure it's okay with the hosts, Cats, but we can maybe, stay a couple of minutes if people have questions. So essentially, if you need to leave, if you're able to stay and you want to ask or, continue listening, then you can do that. But before we go into that, I just really wanted to thank from the bottom of my heart, all of the panelists for being here, Christyn, Umit, Manon, Robert. I really love this discussion. I don't know about you. You all had so much to add and you complemented each other super well. And, we really, really appreciate you taking the time to, to join us and to, to speak about things that you're clearly passionate about. So thank you so much. Much appreciated. Okay. So I see somebody has their hand up. Juan, did you want to unmute yourself and share?
Yes. Yes, thank you so much. First of all, acknowledgement, as you just said, thank you, Cats, for bringing this together. I came back to McGill because of these kind of programs. I had to argue with the government to come back to McGill and say why McGill is better than the other ones, and it's for this kind of support. So thank you for this wellness, Lisa, starting this program. For the panelists you brought, Manu being very, very keen on the text, Umit, my God, you said that you don't have credentials. For me, you have all the credentials. What you said really touched my heart. You come from experience and really you are very aware of what is happening in the world. I can see that, yes, it's a journey, it's a wellness journey that is individual, but we are individual because we live in a society. So it's a society journey too. So it's very nice how we are trying to move from the bottom line and economics to the human side. always thinking on the bottom line, always thinking on the finance. And in this conversation, I still see that. I think it's still something very aspirational when we are saying, okay, wellness is important because it's going to help the bottom line. It's going to be more productive. So we are not really thinking on the human being. We are still thinking in economics, but it's good. It's good. At least we are moving towards that direction. So what I was thinking, or just a comment that I want to throw out there. Like if you see that people have wellness problems, I think that is because also the society is sick. It's not the individual problem. The individual is part and is a product of the environment and where it's happening there. So there is, and I heard this and I'm gonna quote it because it doesn't come from me. It's not good or it's not healthy to adapt to a sick society. So it's not about, okay, I have some problems, I have to work on myself to adapt to this sick and toxic society. It's not that way. I think we have to work things out. We have to also see this as a not just individual, but a society responsibility and move in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Juan. Manon, you had something to say?
Yeah, thank you for the comment, Juan. I just wanted to say that actually I believe that it's a good thing that employer also see that as a how to help the productivity and the bottom line, because it's if you think in terms of revenue and productivity, it's kind of the only way you're going to get a real business case to incorporate all of those costly and interesting strategies in your day-to-day. So I think it's a good thing because it helps put like dollar amounts in a way that will actually give you the right budget to actually implement the right thing. So I believe it will happen easier if we're actually able to link the wellness issues and the productivity to the bottom line and the revenue, etc. So
I completely agree. What I have seen a lot of websites is that it's more like a show off to bring money and investors. Oh, I have wellness programs, I have this, I have that, I'm doing, but is that really practical? I can tell you an example because I have worked in big corporations here in my country where they talk a lot and they don't walk the talk. But I can give you an example, particularly in my last job. I don't name companies, I think it's good. But I had this situation. I got enrolled with this person the same day we were working. She was doing her work, me too, we were going together, something happened and she got fired. And my manager came to me in a one-on-one and so on, told me, Juan, I know what you're feeling. You have the right to feel sad. If you want to cry, it's okay. Nobody's going to judge you. Take your time. You can be sad for 1, 2, 3 days. If you're still sad next week, maybe we have to talk and find some tools for you, but feel free to be human.
So it's helpful to feel validated in that moment, you know, that your issues are valid. And yeah. All right. Thank you for sharing. Did anybody else have any questions or comments before we sign off? I notice that there's some stuff in the chat here, a lot of thank yous. I know somebody earlier up had mentioned giving yourself a 30-day challenge is a good technique that could help start your path. So we've probably seen those, 30-day, eating well challenge or 30-day no alcohol challenge or something like that. So those tend to be common. They work for some. It can be helpful for some, especially maybe if you're kind of doing it with somebody else too. Some accountability. So. Okay, well, I guess if there's no more questions, we can end there. Once again, thank you, and yes, thank you to Katz too. I don't think I mentioned that, but thank you so much to Katz and the coordinators, Valerie, Tima, John, everybody for organizing this. Right. Well, I wish you all the best on your whatever journeys you're on right now, your academic, your wellness, your career, whatever it may be. And know that you can always reach out to Katz. You can always reach out to myself as a continuing study student if you feel you need, additional support or if you want to discuss this any further. All right. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much.